Have you ever hesitated to squat down and pick something up after birth? Maybe it was your baby's car seat, a pile of laundry, or simply picking something up off the floor. You stopped, you held your breath and thought, can I even do this anymore? Maybe you were afraid of pelvic pressure, leaking, or feeling like your core wasn't there. I get it. After having a baby, our bodies go through huge changes, and it's totally normal to feel a little or a lot disconnected from your pre-baby body. But here's the truth. You do not have to avoid squats or strength building exercises forever. Today, we're going to talk about why squatting can be one of the greatest game changers for rebuilding your core strength and how to do it safely without fear or overwhelm. In fact, by the end of today's episode, you'll have a clear action plan to begin squatting again without stress on your pelvic floor. So let's dive in.
Postpartum is hard. One second we feel like our bodies are miraculous, and the next we feel like we're a complete mess, out of touch with the strong, confident women we used to be, all while the fitness industry pressures us to bounce back as quickly as possible to a body that never looked like it was pregnant to begin with. That's why, whether we're 3 days postpartum or 3 years postpartum, we need the refreshing truth of gospel-focused fitness to give us energy for the physical challenges of motherhood, peace with our postpartum bodies, and kingdom-centered motivation to train for strength and stamina. So mama, whether you're sipping on cold coffee or folding 5-day-old laundry, I pray by listening every Monday, you become equipped, encouraged, and empowered for a strong motherhood, all for God's glory. This is the Strong After Birth podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Let us be real. After childbirth, many of us feel disconnected from our bodies. You've probably been told to rest, avoid certain movements, or that certain exercises could make things worse. If you've been afraid to squat again, it's likely because of a few reasons. Maybe it's fear of pelvic floor issues like incontinence or pressure. Maybe it's fear of diastasis recti or abdominal separation getting worse, or simply the emotional challenge of feeling like your body is no longer yours. The truth is, rebuilding your strength postpartum is a journey, and it doesn't happen overnight. But squats can be a foundational piece to that recovery process if done correctly. What you really want is to feel strong in your core again, right? To confidently pick up your baby without feeling any pressure, and to have the energy to be active mom you want to be. And guess what? You can get there. I can tell you because I've done it myself. I've walked many women through the process as well. Now, you might have already tried a few things already when it comes to building up our core strength enough to feel comfortable to do deep, heavy squats. Maybe you've done pelvic floor exercises or core work. Maybe you've tried gentle yoga or stretching. But when you think about squatting, maybe barbell or dumbbell or kettlebell, something about it just feels like too much. Maybe you've been told to avoid strength training because of your C-section scar or vaginal tearing with birth, or that you shouldn't lift anything heavy for a while. And maybe that overly general advice has gotten you feeling confused or even disheartened, and maybe unsure of what's actually safe for your body. Well, if that sounds familiar, I'm here to tell you, friend, you are not alone and you're not broken. The truth is, we've been given a lot of conflicting advice, but the right kind of movement can heal and restore your body. It's just about knowing where to start. So let's talk science for a moment. Research shows that rebuilding core strength postpartum isn't about completely avoiding squats or avoiding resistance exercises. In fact, avoiding movement altogether can actually lead to a lot of weakness and even more problems down the road. In 2019, a study was released from the Journal of Women's Health Physical Therapy found that controlled progressive resistance training, hello true strength builder, I see you, you are that, which includes squats, helps improve pelvic floor function. This is especially true when paired with diaphragmatic breathing to reduce intra-abdominal pressure and align your core muscles. And here's what I want you to remember. You can squat after birth. You just might need to learn a new way to do it. When you squat properly, you're actually helping to strengthen your pelvic floor and core. And it's not about pushing through pain or trying to fix something that is broken. This is about a progressive strength training that gently supports your body as it rebuilds. I want to give you this visual. Imagine your core and pelvic floor like the foundation of a house. Now, as we go through delivery and as we go through birth, that foundation is often weak and or cracked. And because of that, everything else can start to feel like it is falling apart. But if we rebuild that foundation step by step, if we go in, we make it stronger, we reinforce it with a smart, progressive approach, you are setting up your body for strength and resilience in the long term. And maybe you're wondering, how do I even do this? Well, one of my most helpful tips is to begin with supported squats, maybe using a chair or a wall for support, giving yourself a target to squat down to focus on keeping your back straight, your chest lifted, and making sure, most importantly, that you are breathing throughout the motion. To inhale as you go down and exhale as you stand up. To go slow and listen to your body. And what I mean by that overly used phrase is to focus on what you are feeling. If you're noticing that you tend to lose control of your core, if you no longer feel that core contraction at the bottom of the squat, I would encourage you to increase the height of the space that you are squatting down to. So if you're squatting down to a low step, or maybe not even using a target to squat down to, try to increase the height of that until you're able to feel your core contraction throughout the entire squat, all the way down and all the way back up. Now, I want to give you 3 red flags that might indicate you're holding pressure in your pelvic floor while you are squatting. These are key signs that your body might not be engaging correctly, or that there's too much stress on your pelvic floor muscles. The first one is feeling pressure or heaviness in your pelvic floor. If you feel a sensation of heaviness or downward pressure in your pelvic floor during or after squatting, that is a clear sign that you might be holding tension down there, and you may feel like something is dropping or falling inside your pelvic region. Now, it is a very common sensation, but I would say this is not a normal sensation and can indicate that you're not properly engaging your core, your deep core or pelvic floor muscles before you squat. Here's how we can remedy this. Biggest tip is to focus on your breath. Make sure you are inhaling before you start, letting your pelvic floor relax, exhaling to contract your pelvic floor by pulling your belly button up and in. I'm doing this as I coach you through it. And then to squat down with an inhale. So you're inhaling, you're exhaling, and then you're inhaling again as you go back down with a braced core. Once you get down to the bottom of your squat, then you will begin to exhale as you come back up. And with that exhale, we are contracting our pelvic floor at the top. Now, something that can be really helpful for women who, like myself, tend to have a hyperactive pelvic floor is to make sure that you pause between reps to notice that your pelvic floor relaxes. Something that we do not want that can lead to incontinence or leaking is having that constant tension from our pelvic floor where it becomes chronically tight rather than responsive, elastic, and reactive to the tension and forces that we put on it. The second red flag is going to be incontinence or leaking. Now, if you experience leaking or incontinence while squatting, even a little bit, it could be due to an imbalance in your pelvic floor or core engagement. Sometimes this can mean that we are using our glutes more or trying to overcrunch our upper abs, and that can put downward pressure on our pelvic floor. Because squatting does place pressure on our pelvic floor, if it's not properly engaged, it can lead to leaks. So here's a tip for you. Check if you are engaging your core muscles before you squat. Like I said, before you even begin a rep, pull your belly button up towards your spine before lowering in. And remember, don't rush. This is the time to retrain your body, and that proper form will help to prevent leaks in the future. Number 3 is pain or discomfort in the lower abdomen or pelvic region. Now, any type of pain, especially sharp or dull aches in your lower abdomen or pelvic region, is another red flag. This could be a sign that you're not distributing the pressure properly across your body and that your core and pelvic floor aren't quite showing up fully for their job. I encourage clients, particularly as we start to add weight, to feel how that weight is changing how their body contracts their pelvic floor. And for every increase in weight, we're also increasing the work that your pelvic floor has to do to support all of your pelvic organs. So if you are feeling discomfort, check your squat form. Are you rounding your back as you hold the dumbbell, or are you holding your breath at the bottom of the squat? Try doing squats in front of a mirror to check your alignment, or to create a video of you doing the squats to check your form. Maybe consider dialing back either the depth or the weight of your squats and start with shallower movements if you are noticing that pain or discomfort. And as always, if you feel like you've tried all of the things and are still not finding this, please reach out to a pelvic floor PT who can help give you personalized advice. Now, let's imagine where this could lead. You're going to feel so much more confident when you squat down to pick up your baby, or when you stand up without having to adjust or hold your breath. That's the beauty of feeling strong. You'll be working towards a stronger core and pelvic floor while simply living your life. As your strength begins to rebuild, not only will you feel physically stronger, but mentally, you'll also also begin to feel empowered at what your body can do. You don't have to avoid exercises or fear certain movements anymore. Instead, you'll be confidently reclaiming your body and your strength, and you'll have more energy to keep up with your little ones. And that is something worth celebrating. I want to share a verse with you that ties in beautifully with this process of rebuilding strength. In Isaiah 40, verses 29 through 31, God promises, He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Friend, this is exactly what rebuilding your strength after birth can feel like. There will be moments of weariness, moments of feeling weakened and overwhelmed, but you don't have to rely on your own strength. God promises to renew you, to give you the power you need to keep moving forward. Even in those moments when you think you can't, He can renew your strength. I want to give you 3 clear action steps to help you rebuild your strength and to squat confidently. Here's how you can begin. Start with breath. Focus on diaphragmatic 360-degree breathing. Inhale deeply, even lying down on the floor, and allow your ribs and belly to expand, and gently exhale while lifting your pelvic floor. This is what I call the core connection breath, and it engages your core and helps reestablish the mind-body connection that is often lost in pregnancy. Number 2 is to have progressive movement. Like I said, begin with supported squats using a wall or a chair for support, and focus on keeping your back straight, chest lifted, and making sure you're breathing throughout the movement. Go slow and listen to your body, and remember, it's not about depth, it is about the core control. And number 3 is have a plan that works to help you progress. If you're unsure about what to do next, book a free discovery call with me. Let's chat about your unique postpartum recovery and create a personalized plan that supports your goals and helps you return to movement safely. Now, this isn't about doing it all perfectly or following someone else's routine. It's about what works for you. So if you're ready to take that next step in your postpartum recovery, I'd love to chat. Book a free discovery call with me and can talk about your goals, your struggles, and if and how I can help you rebuild your strength in a way that feels good. No pressure, no sales pitch. It's literally just a conversation to help you get clarity on your path forward. Because being strong doesn't mean being perfect, and you deserve to feel empowered in your body again. Thanks for tuning in today, friend. I hope this episode gave you some encouragement, some practical tips, and clarity that you needed to start rebuilding your strength one squat at a time. I would encourage you to take it slow, trust the process, and remember your strength is worth investing in. Until next time, friends, stay strong. All the love, Coach Laura.